Hey everyone, welcome to Rough Stuff, the podcast where we invite our comedian friends on to tell embarrassing stories about their childhood. I am one of your co-hosts, Bridgett Greenberg, and I wouldn't flush the toilet for years because I was afraid of the noise it made.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
for my family. Yes, it was.
Floaters galore.
Yeah. It wasn't. No one was happy about it. But with me is my co-host, Sarah Griffith.
Yes, I'm Sarah Griffith. I also co-host this show. And the first concert I ever went to was the American Idol Season 5 Top 10 Tour.
Who were the finalists? Or anyone notable?
I can tell you all of them. I was very invested in one, Mr. Taylor Hicks, who wound up winning that season. That was my first crush. But like the other notable one, like Catherine McPhee was the runner-up.
Okay.
Chris Daughtry was in fourth place.
Heavy country.
Elliot Yamin was in third. It was a pretty good lineup of...
That's a heavy hitter season.
People who didn't wind up having much of a career, but at the time, very talented.
Yeah.
What a group of talented losers.
I'm
just joking.
Yeah, and that voice you hear is our guest for this episode, comedian Christine Medrano.
Another person I would classify as a talented loser. I'm just joking. I'm an untalented winner. No,
that's
I'm
a
joking.
great stand-up title album. But yeah, what's you got anything embarrassing?
I have so many embarrassing things, but a good one off the top is I was a bedwetter. I did wet the bed. My family worked at nursing homes, so we had like those pads that they put on seniors' beds. So if you like wet yourself, you just got up in the middle of the night, you change it, and then you throw that pad in the hamper and throw one of the new bad boy on there.
Do you mind telling how long this went on?
It probably went up to like maybe, I want to say like, I wasn't doing it every night up to that point, but like maybe fourth grade. And my parents would like train me, like if you did 7 nights in a row, you get like McDonald's or something like that.
Yes.
But like it wasn't under your control.
I know, but maybe there was some psychological thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had an older brother who he would have been a lot longer than me.
Hey, so you weren't the worst.
But it was everyone. It's very genetic. Everyone on my dad's side of the family, I feel like we're all bedwetters, like my cousins and stuff.
I worked at a sleepaway camp, and there was a girl who was a bedwetter, but didn't tell anybody.
It's really shameful.
It is,
and especially it's hard. Especially if you're going to a sleepaway camp. Where you're like in a cabin with like 12 other girls your age, you don't want to be like, hey, I'm a bedwetter. But
no one does.
I remember there was a weird smell in the cabin, so they did like a deep clean, and then we found her sheets, and we were like, oh, you needed to tell us, and we could have handled it.
Sarah Silverman's also a bedwetter.
Yes, yeah, she is. I read that book.
I was just thinking, like, we need to maybe, like, revisit the parameters of wetting the bed, of, like, when that starts to become, like, a warning sign, or when that's just kind of like, kind of just young and being dumb, or maybe I'm just being defensive because I was also a bedwetter.
Oh, okay.
Because I just feel like, what I mean to say is, like, I feel like a lot of people come on the show are like, yeah, I wet the bed for long, or like, oh, yeah, like, and I just, like, I don't know. I kind of felt like when I was little, like, when I would wet the bed, and I was like 8 or 9, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, like no other 8 or 9-year-old in the entire world is pissing themselves in the sleep anymore. Like, how dare I? But really, like, I think it's a little bit more common.
It's like when you're like a teenager and you're like making fun of teenagers who masturbate.
Right,
like,
yeah.
No, I don't. They get very defensive.
Right,
Nobody wants to admit it. It's kind of like this, being a kid is like this weird thing where everything is a huge deal. I will never, it's black and white. I will never do that. And then you end up doing it. You're like, oh, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's normal, so you just assume nothing you're doing is normal.
Absolutely. You think you're all alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I was a bedwetter, and I remember like going to
obviously we look at you and you can tell. Yeah.
But it was like I was in a Girl Scout troop, and so like one of the moms like so bravely was like, well, all the Girl Scouts can like spend the night at our house, like, you know, all the girls come over, like sleep over like on the floor, and you know, we went to camp, but for some reason this was like a girls' night, whatever. And I remember like being so like brave and like so confident. I think I was like probably in 2nd or 3rd grade at this point, and like as we were laying out our sleeping bags,
were you really coming into your own as a woman?
Literally. And once you hear the story, it's gonna be like, this is so me. But like we rolled out our sleeping bags, whatever, and I was like, okay, everyone, I have an announcement to make. Sometimes I accidentally pee my pants when I'm sleeping.
Wow. And
oh, yeah, I literally was like, look, I just want to be honest.
Get ahead of it. Get ahead of the story.
I just want to be honest about this. Well, flash back my mom had told our Girl Scout leader, like, by the way, sometimes this happens with Sarah. And like, my mom was like with me when she said this, because she like very early on was like, let's make it a point to not, let's be honest, whatever. Yeah. And so like my Girl Scout leader was like, oh my God, you won't even believe, like she was trying to make me feel good, but I thought this was like an empowering moment where she was like, oh, sometimes I laugh so hard I pee a little bit, and like it happened. Like she was trying to be like, so I was like, no, this is my cross to bear. So I like I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, like, that's the deal. And now and like, to everyone's credit, everyone was like, yeah, okay, thanks for like sharing with that. And like a few other people, I think again were just trying to make me feel good, but it was kind of like a moment. But like I had peed like a little bit, like I hadn't like full blown like wet my sleeping bag, but like I probably peed like a little in the night. And so the next morning I remember this girl was like, oh, it kind of like smells like pee in here. And I was like, didn't you hear what I said yesterday?
We're not talking about it anymore.
I already said that I was going to pee my pants. Like, I was like, so like, I cannot believe you weren't listening to me when I made my speech about pissing myself when I sleep.
Yeah. That's the whole point of getting ahead of it, is you can't talk about it anymore.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I've already done my PR.
I know.
Already sent out the press release.
Yeah.
Didn't you not read it? Yeah.
If I've admitted to it, you can't bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like, what is like the clause in crime if you just like admit the crime right up, like you're...
I don't think that's a thing.
Oh, damn it. Well,
but
shit.
I'm
going to jail.
I'm not taking questions anymore regarding that. Thank you
it
so
pretty
much
was like, from, I respect my privacy during this difficult time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think if you like committed a murder, you can just be like, yeah, I did that, and they would let you off.
No, there's like a leniency term where like, I don't know.
I once pissed myself on camera.
What?
That on purpose, or
No, me and my friends used to make like music videos.
Yeah.
At each other's houses, like we'd have like
Right.
a camcorder and we'd lip sync to them.
I remember
of
those
course.
times. Yeah.
And we were making one to "The Boy Is Mine," and
That's a good one.
I couldn't stop laughing,
Yeah.
and so I started laughing. My friend's holding the camera, and I started falling to the floor because I'm doubled over like laughing, right? Because I'm like, can't believe it.
Yeah.
She keeps recording. I'm like on the ground and I'm like, oh my God, I have to pee. I start trying to crawl to the bathroom and I start peeing myself, and she just is like this. So like, she just like lowers and she's like laughing, watching me pee myself, and then I peed myself. She recorded all of it, and then she made me change my pants. Then her brother came down and was like, it smells weird in here, and we were like, we were making soup.
Making soup.
Hey.
We were making soup in the room.
Yeah.
It kind of smells like pee.
Yeah, pee talk. Sorry, I just wanted to get ahead of that.
No,
it came out.
It's okay. Just
really
like peeing,
right.
just like peeing your bed. Sometimes it just comes out, man.
Yeah. But yeah, let's dive in. What, like, did you have a specific time that you would point out as like an awkward phase?
I mean, I feel like it lasted for so long. I feel like I'm still going out of it in it.
Right, but I feel like as you get older, it just becomes like, yeah, I'm used to it.
I just don't care as much, I guess.
Right.
Maybe I'm too stoned to realize that. I don't know. I mean, I think that I think of myself as like an awkward person.
Right, yeah.
And I think I had like, if you saw my high school like I remember telling people like I was really not cute, not fun in high school, and they're like, no, I'm sure you were fine. And then I showed them pictures and they were like, everyone grows at their own pace. Oh. I was like, oh damn, you didn't even be like, no.
Immediately backtrack.
They just immediately went back on their word. It was bad. I did truly, I mean, right now, I did wear my hair in a, like I would take a fine tooth comb and slick my hair back into a low ponytail for almost all of high school.
I did not, and I played sports, and I did not know how to make a normal ponytail, and I refused to learn because no one could tell me what to do, and so I only wore a low pony, like what your dad's friend has. I still had like a middle part within my ponytail.
I have a joke about it where it's like, yes, a slick back Steven Seagal ponytail. It was not cute, and that lasted for a long time. And I like didn't even really start wearing makeup until I was like in my 20s. Yeah. I didn't wear like shorts until I like was in my 20s.
You didn't wear shorts?
I still barely.
You're from Canada, though.
I'm from Canada.
So you don't. I was gonna say.
But also we had to wear like kilts all year long. Well, I went to an all-girls school in school, and then I like didn't wear a bathing suit for a long time. I had a lot of body issues. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like that's pretty. I feel like every little girl goes through like a weird phase.
I didn't wear a bathing suit until I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
And I was always like a smaller girl. I'm probably like I'm skinnier then than I am now.
Yeah, that
So it's wild.
yeah, because I grew up in Florida where
You
you're forced to,
Yeah.
and
I
I was
into a
very,
bathing suit.
yeah, you were, yeah, they're immediately they make you.
You're born with one on.
Yeah, and yeah, tankinis were a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just like as a awkward like 11-year-old that just wants to hide themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a big deal. I wore board shorts over my bathing suit for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not comfortable being a child.
No, I was so awkward. I was so awkward.
Do you have anything specific that stands out?
I just was like a loner and I was very much a weirdo. I was really into. Okay, this is before Twilight. So I just want to preface this because it's like everyone is. But I was very much like into the occult and like like.
No, I don't think everyone is. I
Yeah,
know.
wait a second.
I was in grade 5. I was like bringing like a copy of like Macbeth to class, school and reading it and
just
watching.
the witches part.
Yeah, I had memorized. I don't memorize. I don't remember it anymore. But like I used to memorize and read poetry about vampires. And my dad got really mad at me, and my mom's like, "It's okay." I was like that when I was young because I'd be like, I don't know, like on this website called like it was like called like Pathway to Hell. It was like a message board about
Jesus.
vampires and shit. And I would like learn to make fake blood. I read the movie magazine like Fangoria and was like obsessed with horror movies. And so, like, I would, like, make, like, fake blood and, like, leave a trail from the door to, like, where I was lying in a pile of blood for my family to find. And they were just always just like, oh, God, you're such a, like, I'd run into my mom's room and have my arm covered in blood, like, the knife, it's lit. And she would just be, like, not even, like, opening her eyes, be like, wash it off. Just kind of.
You're such an actor.
Such an actor. And then I would, like, for fun, my friends would come over and we'd make, like, a lot of prank phone calls.
Yeah.
We did a thing where we would pretend that we were, like, thank you for calling. We would call people and be like, thank you for calling, blah, 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 blah. We are Christian
You would
rock
call them
group.
and
We'd
say
call them,
and say thank you for calling?
And then we'd sing them Christian parodies of songs. And then we'd be like, to hear more, please press 1. And then we'd press it, and then we'd start singing. But one time I remember we were calling this person, and we had, they pressed it. And we were like, please press 1. And they pressed 1. And then we did some other things that are probably considered problematic now, where we would call people. I'm not going to say it. It's so awful.
I have an idea.
We would call people and sing to them in like a way that like 2019, like I would be canceled.
Right.
It was just not. It was a different time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get ahead of the story.
There's a lot of things that come up from like early 2000s, late 90s that were like, oh, no, like as I say them, I'm like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
another.
Or do you ever get a Facebook memory and you're like, wow, why did we think that was funny in 2008?
Oh yeah,
That sucks.
Yeah,
That sucks awful.
I mean, the landscape of comedy is ever changing. So, you know
so
what
we
I mean?
really can't blame ourselves.
Yeah, you can't blame me for making that joke when I was like, like 12 or 14 or something.
You know, I will say to your prank calling thing though, I'm shocked that you had anybody stay on the phone for longer than
Canadians.
like 5 seconds.
It's Canadians, what it is.
Okay,
And we
because
also-
I don't think I ever got a prank call faster than like the
You
first
guys don't
line.
hang up?
I know. I mean, not in my hometown. And then also, we used to have this other thing we used to do is we call people, and the game was to keep people on the phone for as long as possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And so
That's
what you
fun.
do is you just call them and you start talking to them, and then when they'd be like, "Wait, who is this?" Be like, "Guess."
Oh my god.
Guess, and you'd be like, "No," and
That's so annoying.
and then you do something vague, be like, "I saw you at that party," and they're like, "What party?" I'm like, "You don't remember?" And they'd be like, "Bubbles party?" And you'd be like, "Yes."
Oh my
you let them
God.
fill in the blanks.
Oh man.
and then-
That's genius, actually.
But then I used to and I was like such a fast talker, and so I would just be talking and telling like a long story, and it'd be like, I don't even know, it's just like, I guess it's like I was having like some turkey and some box wine, I was like so tired, I was like falling asleep at the wheel, and I'd just go on and on and on and on, and they'd be like, I have to go. Or one time I was really sad, we did get an old lady, and she thought we were her granddaughter, and she kept asking us to visit.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it did end with someone making a false promise, but
wait, did you
we had to get off the phone.
was that a one-time thing? You didn't call
We didn't
her
call her
back.
back.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Or
You
when
weren't a monster.
we were being a prank, so we would go, and also another thing we would do would we'd go we'd be like, okay, we really into live pranks. We would go to make someone go to like a random person's house, and you would have to get a random object from that house. And
you would have to steal.
And you're not, no, you have to knock on the door and then convince them to give you the random thing. And I remember once mine was...
That's a good one.
It was a cup, it was a paper cup and a roll of toilet paper. And so I went there and I started crying. I was just like, I just peed myself and my friends like, they can't know and I still have to pee. And then instead of asking to use the bathroom, well, can I just use like a cup and like a roll of toilet paper? And then they gave it to me. Or we would go and we would do fake surveys that were like, we thought were humorous questions. We'd go in there and we'd be like, okay, first question. And we get into people's houses, and sometimes we make take 15 minutes of their time doing like a fake survey that was, I'm sure, probably so obviously fake. Because it would be like, on a scale from blah blah to blah blah, what color is your pee? And it was always like the game of like keeping a straight face. And then you go in and you at the end of it, you'd be like, one last question. Do you have anything to eat?
That is pretty good. Canadians are actually
a door
that
would have
nice.
been in my face. For one, no one would have answered the door in the first place.
No.
Or maybe they would have just see what little girls were there for, and then that would have been the end of that.
I mean, we weren't like that little. I feel like we were like high schoolers, and so I feel like a part of it was maybe like, I'm sure there were some creepy guys.
Yeah, that seems like you could have gone into a dangerous situation.
Because we also used to go to this donut store, and then we'd go in there like 11 at night and be like, we're homeless, can we have all the donuts you're gonna throw away? And they just give us all their donuts. And it was like a teenage boy though who's working.
Oh yeah. He didn't care about your story.
Yeah.
Oh man, you just remind of a truly awful prank that we did. That, oh man, this is bad. We
I'm watching you feel bad about it.
I feel really bad about this. I haven't thought about this in years. We had this very strange the summer camp I went to for way too long in my life. The camp director was this very weird, nerdy Jewish guy with like a Jewfro and tiny glasses, and he was kind of like a sad sack dude. And one year he was like, this is sad. This is really an upsetting story. He got divorced and like was very clearly going through a rough time.
What a loser.
You monsters.
Yeah,
what did you do to that man?
I caused his divorce. But we did shit. When we got home from camp and had computers, found out he was on a website called JDate and made a fake profile and matched with him.
You catfished your camp director.
Our camp director.
You monster.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, I don't think he answered because I think it was pretty obvious. But that
okay, thank God. Then
he didn't answer.
I thought you execute it well.
It was poorly executed and it was very fake. But dating apps, or not apps, dating sites were probably very new at this point.
That's true. It was very rudimentary.
It was very new. There was probably like a stigma about being on them, certainly.
Absolutely.
Because we decided that it was funny enough to make fun of. Yeah. And it's not.
I'm on 3 apps right now.
I know, yeah. Back in the website days, when you had to like log onto a website.
There's something so like official about doing it on like a laptop, like desktop computer versus just like, kind of on your phone.
Right.
It's like, dearest Bartholomew. It feels like that. Like
to whom it may concern, I'm interested in dating you.
You're in a Wi-Fi horse and buggy. And you're like,
that thing where you send VHS tapes through the mail.
God, I'm really jealous. I like always wanted to play pranks because like I just wanted to be like Bart Simpson, I guess. And I like always had like these like really elaborate prank ideas that like would kind of fall apart, or like my friends would be like, that's one too many, or it would get to the point where it's like, we could get in trouble, and like we don't really want to get in.
The pranks were endless with me. We had fake people that we had at my high school. Me and my friends created that would sign up for events. We talk about them at parties, and then they would prank phone call people, but they would never meet them. So I was and my parents' fax line was the number, and we'd always be like, I can only talk on my grandma's cell phone. That was like the biggest thing, like a funny thing we came up with.
My grandma's cell phone.
Yeah, we thought it was funny. Like we did things like that. Or like we went to teachers' classrooms and we would write, "Hey, Lauren from class," and we'd choose like Lauren from class of like 92. I waited for you like I said I would, but you never came.
Oh my God!
During your lunch break. I guess I'll just see you next time I'm visiting. And they'd come and they'd be like, "Lauren, oh no, I missed her."
I mean, I feel like you got away with a lot of these.
Yeah, these are really good pranks I'm hearing.
We were were big pranksters. A lot of fake poo ones.
Oh, well, that's a classic.
I worked at this is gonna make me age me real hard, but I used to work at a video store, and I used to have this. I thought it was funny if I picked up this phone, and every time I went M&M video. This is Christine talking. How can I help? Or whatever.
Her own intro.
What would really happen? I'd pick up the phone and then I'd burst out laughing and then laugh for 30 seconds, then control myself and just be like, Eminem.
That's so much weirder.
It was very weird.
Were you like? Was this a thing that like in your high school that went around that people knew about you and like made you either liked or disliked?
Yes and no. So, like, I think I was known for being a prankster. I remember one time my friend went around and changed all the computer labs computers to pictures of ugly people. And then, it's also, I did this in a light form to my friends, but in a different way. I would put, like, usually find, like, a porn collage that I would make their background.
Nice.
Classic.
Nice.
But we were in my computer lab, and the teacher was, at first, I was like, oh, Amanda did it. And Amanda was like, no, I didn't do it. Christine did it. And then as soon as the teacher had heard that I did it, she was like, it's fine.
Oh, I feel like that's the worst reaction to get.
It was like, I felt like it was like the Ferris Bueller of my class, where everyone just like let me get away with shit because I feel like I was short or something.
Because you were short, that's why.
No, your secret is you are genuinely funny. And when you're, like we say on the show all the time, if you are someone who's genuinely funny, you can do a lot of some shit because you get away with it because who doesn't like a funny person?
Well, my thing is that the first kind of like prank that I kind of pulled, I used as my college essay was the first time I tried to make people laugh when I was in nursery. I was in nursery and it was someone's birthday and I was like, oh, it'd be so funny if I put icing all over my face. And so I put my face into the cake. I got a huge laugh. Because it's because it's nursery. Yeah. It's like literally before
easy crowd. Yeah.
Easy crowd. And then I got in trouble, but I think was like hooked after that.
You got in trouble in nursery.
You're chasing that first high of that first laugh and that first icing.
Yeah, it's like that's just the tip of the iceberg on my pranking, history. A lot of smashing pumpkins, a lot of
smashing pumpkins concerts.
Ding dong, yeah, that too. A lot of ding dong ditch.
Oh, ding dong ditch is fun.
A lot of fake poo on people's door handles. A lot of. Is
that just like melted chocolate?
I had a recipe. It was like a cookie.
You had your own brew.
I had like one of the gross out books, like teach you how to play pranks. And stuff.
Oh yes.
I spent like, because also it was like the emergence of like Jackass and like the Tom Green show was on the air.
Yeah.
And there was like the, Blink 182. And so there was a lot of prank boy culture in the air.
And you just wanted to be a prank boy?
I wanted to be a fucking prank boy. But the thing is that because it wasn't like a group of boys that was doing it, it was unique because it was like a pack of like 12 girls went to like an all-girls school pulling pranks and like running around knocking over like mail boxes and like screaming at pedestrians.
You really led the charge. You're like a revolutionary.
One time we would like, my friend would like sit outside of an Applebee's and lay on her horn for an hour. Like sometimes they were like not even fun. Like they're funny in theory, but if I saw kids doing what I did when I was young, I'd be like, fucking use.
Yeah.
Use. Were you cool? Like, did that make you cool?
Yeah, you sound pretty fucking cool.
I feel like I was a floater. I feel like I got along with everyone. In junior high, I was definitely not cool, but like in high school, I hung out with like the cool girls, but I was also busy being in a band. I do truly sound like a Disney character.
Yeah.
No, but my band was kind of my life, so I had like a lot of different groups of friends.
Life.
Yeah, band is life. No, not band. No, but I played guitar in a pop punk band.
What was the name?
Buried in Denmark after a Hamlet.
Dude, okay, that's fucking sick.
You sound like Lindsay Lohan's character in Freaky Friday.
Are you kidding? I wish I was. We were like played on like college radio and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys are going on tour in the fall. Where are we going?
Absolutely.
You got to get the band back together.
I had my friend on another podcast was like, had me call them, and they were saying that how one of the girls who still lives in my hometown will have people who come up to her and they're like, were you Buried in Denmark?
Dude.
And I'm like, what? That's crazy.
That's a good band name too.
Yeah. That is a great name.
Oh,
so were you Buried in Denmark? And also, did you call my mother at some point? Because
she's very upset about it.
We were wild.
was like a mastermind of a lot of pranks, but I was too chicken shit to actually like pull them off. I would tell like other people to do them for me.
The Charles Manson of pranks.
Yeah, I had a commune, and people would come, and I would give orders. And looking back on a lot of those pranks, I was like, oh, I was just bullying someone.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like, I did one official prank, which was we were like at a theater intensive. They were like, it's not camp. It's an intensive. I was like, all right, we get it. We're already lame. It's fine. And we stayed at the Northwestern dorms.
Oh, cool.
So it wasn't like Northwestern wasn't the one doing it, but we just facilitated. Anyway.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus went there.
Yeah. So we had a couple of friends. It was 2 girls. They were roommates, and they were roommates, and they had a bunk bed. You know, like it was a classic dorm situation. Yeah. And we were there for like 4 weeks. It was the place where we would always go and hang out. And so at the end of it, our parents were coming because it was going to be all of our shows that week. And so me and the guys that we were all hanging out with, I was like, it'd be like fucking hilarious. Because pranks to me was really gaslighting. Because I like to mess with people. Like, I just like to mess with people, tell them something that's like totally bullshit and let them believe it as much as they want to. So I was like, this is the prank. They never leave their door locked because it's basically like our quad, like it's where we all hang out. Let's go into Evanston and get like magazines and flowers and chocolate and like mini bar supplies and basically like go into their room and like clean it real nice and make it look like a hotel and make it. Yeah. So we literally took the bunk beds off of each other. We made it into one big like king size bed, put flowers on it and like spread out we literally like made this place so nice. That's the thing that we were like laughing, like they're gonna be like freaked out when they come in. They're gonna see like how freaked out. We had so much fucking fun. And sure enough, when they walked in, they just assumed like the camp, the intensive, had like ordered a cleaning service to come in and do this. And so like for like an hour, like we were like, this is so funny. We like cleaned their room.
Oh my god, can you play prank on me in my apartment?
We like messed them so hard. And then like the next day, like the counselors that were there were like all like college age, so they weren't too much older than us. They were like going around, they're like, yeah, you hear about this like shitty prank someone pulled where they basically just like cleaned up their room? And then like hearing it out loud and even telling it out loud now, it's like, oh yeah, I guess we just did them a really nice thing.
Yeah.
But in our minds, like they're gonna walk in the room, they're not gonna know what the fuck just happened. It's like we did them a huge favor.
Yeah.
But they never put the bunk, but they just slept together like for the rest of that week.
You got a lot of people hooking up that weekend because of you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe we accidentally created like a fuck space, but whatever. It was a hilarious prank.
I just remember, like I said, I just like, I guess produced a lot of pranks. Now that I think about it, because I would just like, I would single people out. Like the one, I feel so bad about this. There was this nerdy kid in the school who was always kind of like, he was the kid who would like, but you forgot to give us homework. So like it was like that kind, it was like Martin in The Simpsons kind of nerd where you're just like, I need you to shut up. And I remember like one class, I was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And got the whole class. He would always sit in the middle of the classroom because of course. And I was like, at this time when the second hand reaches this, everyone's just going to scoot their desk like an inch away from him.
Oh, that was my favorite thing to do.
So it created like a circle around him. And we did it, and he immediately burst out into tears. Oh. And I was like, I got to hang up my hat here. There was also a teacher with a hearing aid. And someone told me, I don't know who, aluminum foil really messes with hearing aids.
You're a monster.
I know. None of this.
My friends were nice. They were fun.
No, all of them were. And then I remember one classic prank I pulled. I was such an asshole about it because it was the night before Halloween. It was Mischief Night. So it was the only time I've ever seen people in our neighborhood like TP houses. And
we have Gate Night in Canada.
Oh.
Gate Night. That's also the night before
Halloween. Yeah, it was Mischief Night.
Gate Night.
Gate Night. It was that night, and this TPing and things were escalating, and then finally, like, the bad kids we were with, like, pulled out cartons of eggs.
Oh, no.
I'll make a house or two.
Yeah.
I was an asshole.
Yeah, it's a bad thing to do, and I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this now. And I threw one egg, and then, like, we all hear, like, we see the light come on, and I didn't realize that I was so much faster than everyone. But I took off down the street. Like I ran, there was it was a cartoon. Like there was a Bridgett-sized cloud of dust and I was out of there. and like turned around and I had lost all my friends and like didn't. Sorry, I just spit all over you.
It's okay.
Lost all my friends and walked home alone, just thinking about what I just did.
Did they get caught or?
No one got caught.
Okay.
I didn't need to run that fast. They were just like, they just left. I just was like booking it down the street and realized I was very lost in this neighborhood that I didn't know and like walked home.
My friends used to steal a lot of things from carnivals, like prizes. And so they would have like one girl who would go over and like flirt and she'd be like, hi, da, 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 while the other girls were like taking it from the side. Very, very Aladdin.
You did grow up in like a Disney like channel show for kids.
But the thing is that I am someone who famously vomits at every like carnival that I've been to.
Yes,
welcome to the
one
vomit
of
squad.
us.
Yeah, what happens usually is not even that I go on that many rides. I
Specifically
get
at
too
carnivals.
excited and I love the food and I eat too much carnival food.
Yes.
And I'm like a kid who eats too much
so
food
good.
real fast. And so I was, we were in the middle of grifting, if you will.
Grifting.
And I had eaten, I think, too much, probably too much, I don't know, too much of
cotton
something.
candy.
And so we were running away as we were being chased by security for getting caught stealing prizes. And then I had to stop and vomit, and my friends just kept grinning. I didn't get caught, though, because I guess they didn't assume that the girl puking into the bucket was part of the pack
Right.
of
It's a
girls
good cover
running,
story.
stealing
Yeah.
things.
Whenever
yeah.
you're the one vomiting, you're never the one.
Yeah.
That's always my
Exactly.
position in the heist. You know, it's there's like the ringleader, and you got the muscle, and then you've got like the contortionist, and then me, I'm the vomiter. I'm the one in the Bellagio. You know,
Typical.
throwing up.
I mean, it's a good run distraction.
Yeah, I mean, hey. Yeah, I would do I would try to organize these big pranks, and then everyone would be like, Sarah, just fucking relax.
What were your pranks? Was it like, we're going to hit someone?
Well,
like,
it'd be like over the course of a few months, like we're all gonna slowly but surely.
Shame to redemption, we're gonna slowly carve out this hole in this wall.
We did that actually. We had one of those like accordion doors in one of our geometry classes.
Oh my God.
And me
yes.
and my friend would sit in the back and just like, it was always after lunch, so we would take a spoon from the cafeteria and we would start carving a hole in that like fabric door. And then one day I'm sitting in class and I just hear my friend go, and he had broken through the door. And then everyone was like, what is happening? We're like, it's the last day of school. We've been working on this since day one.
We had one of those accordion doors. Oh, this just brought up a fond memory. We had those accordion doors, and one classroom was Spanish, and the other classroom was French. And famously, French at my high school is fuck off class, because the teacher wasn't really I don't even know if that teacher could speak French. The big urban myth at our school was that he was in a gay porn in the 70s.
What?
You can look it up.
Where are you from? LA?
No, Houston. I went to performing arts school though, so
Gotcha.
this kind of thing was oh yeah, and our teacher's in a gay porn. Anyway, so those doors, there's a little bit of a place underneath where you can kind of slide things through. And so I sat in the back, and my friends in French sat in the back, and we would pass notes to each other all throughout class, and we called it the Berlin Wall.
Wow.
And we would talk to each other all throughout class that day.
Oh, days before texting, man. Kids have it easy now.
I know.
Oh, I think I still probably could have texted him, but there was nothing more fun than seeing a piece of paper slide out from underneath a wall.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, my mom worked at the school I went to, so I was never blamed for anything. It was always assumed well, her mom works here, so she's doing the good thing.
Genius.
This couldn't be her.
You had an inside man.
I had an inside man.
That's
I
your
also,
place in the heist.
And also why I didn't actually do anything and just told other people to do it, or
True.
got it in a way that, because the one time I did get in trouble, and I've talked about it on this podcast before, the one time I had to go to detention, my mom showed up. And the principal was yelling at me, and my mom was yelling at me, and my friend who I got in trouble with was there, watching two adults yell at me.
That's
and I
rough.
was his mom's not here.
Yeah.
And so that's why I became a little bitch.
I feel like I've always just been a troublemaker, pranker, mischief queen.
It's fun.
No, it's fun.
Oh, I mean, nothing is funnier than screwing with people, which really when I look back, I'm oh yeah, the ways that I used to mess with people, it's full blown gaslighting and manipulating people into believing something that's not true. And
pranking has to exist within a certain time where you're too young to
Right.
know any better and too old to you're too young to care, and you're old enough to know better, but too young to care. There you go.
That's
That's the
what they
perfect
say.
combo for
Yeah.
pranking. And then at a certain age, you're just kind of that's annoying.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of the things you said, the honking thing, I'm no, that's annoying. That's not a
That
prank.
would have-
I would have gone
annoying.
out to that car and be well, shut the up. I'm trying to enjoy my Applebee's.
I shush teens in movies. Like, there's no business. You know what I mean? I have no pity for teens who are pulling pranks. I've been you. Shut the fuck up. My tenure is over.
Yeah. Whenever I've seen teens up to no good, it's like, I respect your space. I'm not in it though. I'm walking straighter. I will say one time, I think I was like maybe in middle school, and my mom was driving us through this neighborhood that it was like the suburbs, so like we never go out there. And these kids like so obviously ran to the road, put a watermelon on the road, and then ran out. And my mom got right up to the watermelon, stopped the car, and she rolled down and she was like, "Boys, can you come out?" And so they came. Well, listen, my mom's fucking cool, because she was like, "Did you put the watermelon on the road so I could run over it?" And they're like, yeah. And she was like, okay, back up. And so she backed up and then ran over the watermelon for their big, like, And I remember, like, even being 12 years old being like, that was fucking cool of my mom to do.
Were you in the car at the time?
Yeah.
I would have been mortified the minute my mom rolled down the window and said, "Boys, come over here."
Well, I was actually kind of excited because I was like, oh, good, these shithead suburban boys are going to get in trouble. Fuck you.
No, I would have hidden. I would have been like, no, I can't be here. Well, my mom's talking.
I mean, they were doing it in such an obvious way. It was like, dude, if you're going to prank, I mean, a watermelon, like someone's not going to see that.
Me and my friends would take tape from one side and go to the other side and watch cars drive through it and make a loud noise.
That's a good
classic one.
That's a good one. I remember we would throw things like baseball gloves into the street, so it seemed like they were driving over something.
We would throw wet pancakes at buses. They're not allowed to stop.
Oh, really?
Buses can't stop, like if you're behind them just honking. Or throwing pancakes at them, at least in Canada.
That's pancakes? Just specifically pancakes. If you threw a waffle, the bus could stop.
I spent a lot of times in diners at night,
ordering stacks of pancakes to throw.
My friends and I would sometimes drive around at night after we saw a play. I'm not kidding. This is a portrait of me. We would drive around at night and roll our window down, and when people were just like out walking alone, we'd yell, "Nerd!" Like, that was the extent of it.
That's awful at night. I never did it at night. That's too far.
But it was really all fun and games. And a lot of people responded like, kind of like, haha, I was just called a nerd out of nowhere. But literally, one guy looked so sad that it was pretty much the end of our nerd tenure. It was like, we'll never do that again.
We made someone sad. Oh, my God. I remember we would, like, be in store windows and pretend to be mannequins.
Oh, that's a classic.
If
I saw kids doing that now, I think I would stay and look at the window a little bit. Yeah. Like, oh, these, like, go in with it.
Right.
Just see how long.
I'd see it and I'd be pissed. I'd be like, fucking kids. But I don't know. Like, I was just, like, such a, like, I was head of, I had to make speeches at school. And so, like, one of them was, like, we had a school play coming up. And one year we had Grease.
Nice.
And I did I went on stage and then I just talked about the country Grease. And then I was like, auditions for
Clever.
Grease.
That's funny. That's
Like weird bits like that.
We have a real spectrum of pranks here, I think.
Right. Some of them are solid and some of them are just like, oh, no.
Did you ever have any go wrong, though?
I mean, I feel like my brother once, this was my brother. I want to specify that this was my brother, not me. He went too far. He went to like a butcher.
Oh, yeah, that's
got like a dead rabbit and put on someone's door. And the person called the police, rightfully so.
Yeah, that's like a serial killer thing to do.
Serial killer thing to do. And then my brother like once outed someone to their parents.
Oh.
And then would prank phone call this girl. And he had given her the name. Oh, this is so awful. I feel bad, but her nickname was Big Breasted Jen.
Oh,
that's such a sorry, that's not funny she had a nickname, but that's so childish to,
and Big Breasted Jen got so insecure about she in her adulthood got breast reduction.
Of course she did. Yeah.
Big Breasted Jen, no! My brother was a monster. Those are my brother's pranks, not mine. Mine were always kind of lighthearted.
No, this is why boys shouldn't prank. When boys prank, it's like violent and scary, and it's like young boys are capable of who knows what. I mean, sometimes, I have guy friends who tell a story about, like, oh, yeah, when I was in middle school, me and my friends, and I hear that story, and I'm like, I don't know if I can be close to you anymore. Like, that is a psychotic.
Yeah. I went to put icy hot on my brother's toilet seat. That was funny. That I stand by.
Oh, it's funny.
It was funny. He doesn't think so, but it was very funny just, watching him at the dinner table and then just, slowly start scooting around in a seat and get, very uncomfortable. And I'm just sitting there, with the like biggest like just glowing as he's just like burning.
Oh, I have one prank that went bad, but it was because I'm the devil. It's such an awful prank. Oh God, why did I bring it up? Me and my cousin were at my
Oh no, Christina's
funeral.
for the funeral.
Oh! And we were sitting for the viewing all the day before, and I was told my cousin, I'm like, we should just, we're bored, and we're like, maybe we should take a break and go get some DQ.
All right.
And so we go to the DQ, and me and my brother think it's funny if we prank from like one call to the phone to the other phone that whereas Brittany, the funeral has started, she's not going to get to give her eulogy.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And she saw that and she just started crying and screaming, and then we had to be like, just joking.
How
Yeah.
how did that
Not good.
you saved that for the end. What?
Now you can hate me, everyone. Listening.
Wow.
Unfollow me on Twitter.
How-
Follow me to unfollow me.
How did that phone call end when you were like, just kidding?
It wasn't a phone call. She was in the car with us because we
Oh,
were
she was
driving
in the
back. From
Oh, so you were pretending
we had gone
someone.
with her to DQ, and we were gonna go back to the funeral.
You did this face to face.
We were on the road. We were at the funeral
okay.
home, and then we were been there for hours on end. We got bored. We were like,
Yeah.
we should go get Dairy Queen because we're monsters. Before
Well,
the
yeah.
funeral.
I mean, you
Well,
were
everyone
kids.
grieves differently.
Everyone
you know?
grieves differently. We were kids.
You needed
It's
ice
like,
cream.
yeah.
How did that how did that interaction
Yeah, when
end?
you showed me
did
the
she get
funeral,
over
was
it?
it just like, everything's fine?
I mean, it was one of those things where I
You
don't
had-
necessarily remember. Maybe I blocked it out, but like we're fine now. I don't
All
know,
right,
but,
that's yeah,
Wow.
that's a rough one. That
Yeah, they.
Listen. I like I said.
you gotta test the waters, you know.
I really did prank. I mean,
Yeah.
saying even now, I'm just like, wow, I did so many more pranks than I
Right.
remember. I was willing to do anything for a laugh. I would.
Yeah, oh,
True.
yeah.
I would do this thing where I can kind of cry and cue, and so what I would do, as you've seen,
Yeah.
is me and my friends would go to the mall, and I would make myself trip over people's feet, fall to the ground dramatically, and then look up at them and start crying and run off.
Oh.
Start
Okay,
sprinting
that's
full
a fucking
speed
great
away.
prank.
And my
Funny.
friends would be like, and this is all for things like for people. It was like pre-YouTube, before people would like be watching. Cause they'd be watching the corner, watch it happen.
Yeah.
That'd be for no one but like my group of friends.
Of course, yeah.
But that's the way like God intended pranks should be. When we
Yeah.
first introduced recording them and then uploading them, that's where we made our first mistake.
Yeah.
As humanity.
Yeah, or like we'd like make fake orders. We'd go to like a drive-through, make like
Yeah.
20 altered burgers that were all different, make them read it back and then take off, like shit like that, you know.
Wow, I think I pulled more pranks than I thought. I had a fart machine.
Classic.
Classic fart machine. And at a sleepaway camp the first night, I hid it under someone's bed and kept like pressing the button. And and like she started crying because she's like, "It's not me. I don't know where this is coming from." And I kept doing it because I couldn't stop at that point. I was all in. And the counselors came in and they're like, "What's happening? Who's doing this?" And she's sobbing, and I'm just like, keep pressing the button. And she went home a couple weeks later.
Wow.
So don't feel
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, we've all kind of said, we've all come in clean with some of our dirtier pranks. Bridgett, I've been pranking you for the last 2.5 years. No joke. When Bridgett and I went to Anza Borrego Springs for one night. Do you recall? We were in that hotel and we literally just went there to go to that, like, to check out those caverns or whatever.
Right.
Remember how we saw Keanu Reeves at the gas station?
Did you not see?
Yeah, if Keanu fucking Reeves wasn't there, we were lying to you.
Why was that a prank?
Because it's my prank that it's nice and it doesn't hurt anybody. But literally on the way back, I was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we said that we saw like somebody big and famous here? And Dave was the one that was like, maybe Keanu Reeves. I was like, that actually makes sense. And so we told Bridgett and a few of our friends.
Did
like,
I care?
You, at the time, everyone was excited. And I've heard our friend Kate tell other people that we saw Keanu Reeves at Anza Borrego.
I for real have seen Keanu Reeves.
Are you, okay, for real?
This is what happened. My
He's a
friends
ghost.
had gotten me.
Bridgett is now in a vulnerable place.
This is the true thing that happened
What
to me.
a weird lie.
A few years ago, at my birthday, my friends had gotten me tickets to go see. It was Alfred Greenspan's anniversary for Howl.
Cool.
So they were gonna have a poetry reading of a lot of his poetries, and people. It's just how weird the cast was. It was like Fred Armisen, Courtney Love, Amy Poehler. It was just like a weird array of like comedy people and like serious people. And in the balcony, not even on the main floor, it was Keanu fucking Reeves.
He's a
And
enigma.
he had just gotten back from Anza Borrego Springs.
Yeah, he specifically. I don't even know what that is. Is that in Italy or something? What was that?
No, it's like in the desert.
Yeah, it's just there's just like cool hike there.
Yeah, but I was saying, like, my
Everyone
pranks
too.
are just kind of like lightly
They're lies.
fucking with
Your-
people.
your
I'm
pranks-
telling you, that's what I'm saying. Like, I manipulate people and gaslight them,
Well,
which is awful.
Mine are just like classic Dennis the Menace pranks.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of soundboards.
A lot of soundboards.
And my
You were
name
just
is
like a
Cleo.
radio DJ.
Yeah, it's just, I was just like such
Yeah.
a prankster, and I feel like if I hadn't grown that muscle that cares about people, empathy,
Right.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah. Then you'd
I'd
be a
still be
YouTuber.
pranking.
You'd be
I mean,
Logan Paul.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like a professional YouTuber. I
Yeah.
mean, I do think that if I had YouTube back in that day, like motherfucker, wow.
Oh,
it would
I
be
think
game
of that
over.
all the time, and I kind of thank God because,
Yeah.
like, I always say, like, oh, we'd probably be Vine famous, but like, I wouldn't want that to follow me into my 20s.
No.
And when it's on the internet, it follows you till you
Forever.
die.
I don't know, the way that I remember passing time as like a 12 to 14-year-old with my friends was so weird. Like we thought it was just fun to like, it was when point and shoot pictures came out. So we were just like, let's take weird pictures
Yeah. Oh,
in
yeah.
random
Yeah.
places. And then like I will look bad. They'll like pop up every now and again and I'll be like, what was happening?
Yeah.
Why? I was having the time of my life and all I was doing was like in a public place doing something weird.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Or like
Miss those times. Simple
I know,
Absolutely.
simple times.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on this podcast,
Yeah,
Christine.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell people what you're up to and where we can find you.
Okay, you can find me at Chrissy Meds. That's going to be on Instagram, and that is also my Twitter. Please do not call me Chrissy. It's just that my name is too long. I do prefer Christine. I have the short film that Bridgett did produce. Is going to be playing at a few more film festivals coming up. You can check us out at I Think She Likes You Film on Instagram, and yeah, check out my website, ChristineMedrano.com, for any upcoming shows or sketches that I'm releasing and shit. I have some things in the tube that I'm really excited about coming out soon.
Yeah, follow Christine. That sounded sarcastic, and I didn't mean it
I
to.
know, how dare
That's-
you, wow.
I'm an asshole. As we trust
Gaslighting
me.
till the end.
Trust-
Classic.
We've done enough of these that it's clear that I'm a terrible person.
I mean, my funeral.
Yeah. This is just a scheme to get everyone on my level.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Cancel the podcast. Come on and get canceled.
Gotta get canceled. You can find this very fun podcast where we will not cancel people at Rough Stuff Pod on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and me on Twitter at Bridgett Tweets. I tweet sometimes.
And you can find me online. I have a web series called Nilo. Bridgett produces it. And you can find all that shit on Twitter.
I am everywhere.
Yeah, at @SK_Griffith. And while you're there, why don't you check out the Small Beans Patreon and throw them some money? Give us
Yeah,
money!
so we can keep doing this forever. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.